everyone, and welcome back to the Castle Building Challenge. It has been a little while, but you know what? That is fine. This is my single player world, and you never have to worry about a single player world going away. And so, yeah, this is, I guess, technically our 50th episode special, and by that I mean it's not going to be special, and I think that's okay. Um, at one point, I had big plans for episode 50. We were going to cover like everything. We were going to, I don't know, it was going to be a big deal. And I kept putting it off, and I kept putting it off, and I kept putting it off. And then I started playing other games, and now it's like 2 years later, and here we are. So I think what I'm going to do is, because it is the 50th episode, and the fact that it has been so long, we're going to talk a little bit about this world, about this challenge, and I don't know, kind of my goals. So yeah, I'm gonna, hopefully this isn't too loud, I'm just gonna farm and talk. So yeah, this world, let's talk about the history of this world. This world is actually from 2012, even though the YouTube series started in 2014. I think it was like the end of the year. I had been playing hardcore. Hardcore super flat, which, with how bad I was at the game, was a choice. It my memory of that is that I was playing on that world a long time, but reality is it was probably a couple weeks, maybe a month, knowing me. But yeah, when I eventually died in that world, I didn't have it in me to start another hardcore world. For the record, I died by being pushed off a ledge by a villager. So yeah. But yeah, so I started this world. It was November. And at the same time, I was attempting, and I mean attempting poorly, to do NaNoWriMo. And I really just kind of wanted to play Minecraft instead, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play Minecraft and then write what happens as if it was a story. And that lasted like 3 days. But the world's still here. I beat the dragon, I beat the wither. I did actually a surprising amount of building. I built like the first house I've ever been proud of on this world. And that's all that way. Like, I don't know, 8,000 blocks. So this challenge, it's really old. It's from 2011, actually. It was on the Minecraft forums. And like by the time I found it, it was already really out of date. Like villager trading wasn't a thing when it was there, created. Mineshafts might have been a thing, but they were really new. Like, this was, I think it was December 2011. I was kind of looking it up out of curiosity. And I don't know, it was a really long time ago. But the entire premise is that you basically arbitrarily limit, like, the stuff you're allowed to use in-game by certain building milestones. So in order to be allowed to stop using wooden tools, for example, you had to build a wall out of wood, and you had to build like a keep, and the goal at the end is, you know, to have a castle, which is pretty cool. I don't really know what castles look like, and I knew even less what castles look like when I started out, but when I found this challenge, it just kind of, I don't know, there was a few of them like that just kind of stuck in the back of my head, and I really wanted to do them. Like, really, really. And at the same time, I was kind of wanting to try out YouTube. I'd done a few things, like just kind of babbling about a topic while playing a game. Kind of like this. But I wanted my first YouTube series to be this. I wanted to build a cool castle, and I wanted to do this challenge that I thought was super neat. And, yeah, so I kind of did. I adapted the challenge for an existing world, because the idea is that you were supposed to protect the block you spawned in on. Like, not necessarily your literal spawn point where you reappear where you die, but like the very first block that you spawn in on in a new world. And this was not a new world. This world was 2 years old by the time I finally pulled the trigger on doing this. So instead, I packed up some crap gear, and I went about 1,000 blocks in the nether. I think I was going north, yeah, north. And then I popped out of the portal, and that was my so-called spawn point that I was protecting. I replaced the portal blocks with glass. I built a little hut around it, and here we are. It's been 11 years, and I'm still here. And like, I don't mean that in a bad way. I build slowly. I play slowly. My joke is that me getting full diamond gear on a server spells the end of that map. And I call it a joke, but it's kind of not. So like, me still slowly picking away at this challenge 10 years later is kind of just very in character for me. And like, there's been side quests and distractions. Calling them side quests sounds cooler though. We did all of the advancements at the time, because I don't know if it was 2000, no, 1.12. I don't know why I'm trying to say 2012. 1.12 or 1.13. One of those changed achievements to advancements. And I already had most of the achievements. So I set out, instead of building, I just like, all right, we're gonna get the one for going to every biome. And we did. And it honestly took quite a long time. And I don't know, regret is the wrong word, but let's just say it's very hard to find new things now in this world because I explored so much and so far. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just, without access to the nether, which I do not have access to the nether right now, it gets very hard to find new chunks. And one of the things I want to do is maybe get caught up on Minecraft versions. Oh wow, we've been talking for almost a full Minecraft day. So I think once the sun goes down, I'm going to stop farming potatoes and stuff, and we are going to kind of do a little bit of a tour of the castle, and maybe talk a little bit about like my goals. I can't promise regularity on this series. I am not a very regular person. Anyone who's like watched me do anything is like, yeah, I get distracted. Yeah, I do other things. Like, I tend to do a lot only when I'm in the mood for it. Let's see, I tend to phrase it as I have the attention span of a small child, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I forget about things like instantaneously. It means I will be very, very interested in something for, I don't know, like 2 weeks, and then something new and shiny comes along. Sometimes things last a little longer. I've spent like the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years utterly obsessed with the Kirby series on various Nintendo consoles, and still kind of there. But also I've been wanting to play Minecraft again, like in survival and not just messing around with commands and being a server admin and like trying to make mini games that I have to rewrite entirely when they change the code syntax. So yeah, I can't promise regularity with this series, but I do have some ideas of things that I would like to accomplish with, you know, whatever level of commitment I can manage. And it is getting dark, and I did kind of mentally say that if I was still babbling about this when the sun went down, it was time to stop. Yeah. Alright, so let's get inside, and I'll meet you in the storage room here in a minute, okay? And here we are in the storage room. Pretty much exactly the way I left it last episode, but I do occasionally get on here and play. So, like, I put this in. We've got a trash can now. Sort me chest is still here. And we've got some things I went exploring for back when they were new that I was gonna show off in a video after the 50th episode special, and it just never happened. So, I mean, okay, vines aren't new, but we've got bamboo, we've got mangrove, we've got dripstone, and some tadpoles, and those are not new anymore at all. Like, okay, vines aren't, but like clearly that means I found a biome with vines because I didn't have them before. So one of the things I want to do. Oh, okay, I just suddenly got the recipe for chains. You know what? That's fine. Everything's cool. No, I should have that recipe. Yeah, I have some right here. So, I did just update. Maybe it's just suddenly unlocking things. So I was looking through some of my old videos for research because I genuinely couldn't remember what I had like decided was okay. Because when the challenge started, the way I read it was that you're basically not allowed to craft with materials until you're allowed to use them. And I'll be honest, I think I read it wrong. But I'm going to keep with it because it's more interesting that way. But one of the things I decided, I don't know, a couple of episodes before the most recent one, was that compasses are okay. They use redstone, but they're not really a circuit. Because I want to make a map. So we're going to make our first compass. And yeah, so it is actually pointing back to our original spawn point about 8,000 blocks that way. But that's not actually what I want it for. Where's my plants chest? I'm still relearning my storage chests here. That's still not enough. How many do I need? There we go. So we can make paper, empty map. Okay, empty map. Okay. And I know it centers wherever it's gonna center, but oh, that looks pretty good actually. Okay. I was gonna use the map as an excuse to wander the grounds and like give it a little tour. I think we'll still do the tour. But let's make a second map. Compasses and maps are actually quite expensive. So that's, we've got 4, 6, 7. I need to do another one. Wait, actually, do I have paper? Aha! I have paper. Okay. One more. I guess this didn't really help me. I still had to make basically the same amount. Compass. Map. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take this one, and we want to go this way. I suppose we could, like, make it bigger, and then we'd have to fill it in, but okay, I want to get behind the castle, and we could, like, put these up somewhere. I have never cleared these trees out. These are naturally generated forest trees that are just still here, and they probably will be here until I need the space for something. One of my things with this is that I try not to really terraform too much. Like, neaten it up, yeah. Fix Enderman damage, yeah. Absolutely need the space for something, totally. Okay, so we're behind the castle. Bonk. Okay, and then yeah. So let's go get some leather and make a couple item frames. And you're gonna have to forgive me a little bit if I'm clumsy with the controls. Since the last time I recorded an episode, I've got a brand new computer. It is a desktop, and I'm playing mouse and keyboard. And I have improved, but it still feels a little weird on occasion, especially with the hotbar. I'm not used to scrolling to stuff. Mob drops. Okay, I've got so much leather, so I need 2 of those. Oh right, they added a recipe for saddles. I have more than I ever will need, but you know, that's nice. These are easier to farm, so. Come on. There, okay. Where do we want to put this at least as a temporary? Actually, you know what? No, let's put it in the castle, because that is like, I mean, this is all the castle, but let's put it in here. It cannot stay here. This used to be my storage room. There. I guess we could do like 2 more up here, and that would get basically everything we've built here. I love how the wall looks from the top. That looks so cool. And you can see the flag. Yeah, okay, so let's do a little bit of a tour. So this is the main keep right now. We obviously need to expand it. I've got a lot of things I need to add before I can progress to the next age here, but this is eventually going to be the Grand Hall. It was originally our storage. Here is the portal that we came through and I replaced with glass, and there's the bed I set so that if I died, I wouldn't end up 8,000 blocks away. Up here right now is my bedroom. There's not much here. I've got like some decorative armor stands, my very wide bed, some paintings that I've been using this texture pack for years. I think they've made paintings better in vanilla, but I've been using this pack for so long it looks weird without it. This is my treasure chest. We've got, I don't know, some of these are like to-do lists, things like that, but here are the bits of treasure that we are required to have. It's actually like not much at all, which is kind of funny to me. In here, through we pretend the whole door opens. It's fine. Is the throne room, and I feel like this is like the first time I really put effort into an interior. There's things I'd probably tweak, but I still like it a lot. It's very busy, but we've got my oversized throne. I moved the book for the rules in here. And this one I haven't written yet, but this is where I'm going to put the official addendums so I can stop looking through my old videos. Not that I mind looking through my old videos. I know some people really hate watching back things that they've recorded, and I don't really mind that much. Is that the sun? Yeah, okay. Sun is setting. That is fine. We're going to pop up here and sleep. Well, actually, no, we got time. This is eventually going to be like a big grand staircase up there, and we're going to have like sitting areas and doors off into hallways and stuff. So over here are all of my animals. These are not permanent pins. In order to complete the challenge, I need at least, I think it's 3 animal pins with the roofs. And right now I've just got a hole in the ground, so yeah. Yep, oh, it is getting dark, but that's okay. We're going to go down here past the lava pool where I burned my wooden axes because they're awful. And we're just going to like go sleep down in the mine. So here's the mine. It is not fancy. I did decorative stuff for the first little bit, and then like I kind of gave up. So in here is a place where I can sleep if I'm done mining and it's, you know, dark out. In here, it's my glowberry closet, which, again, I found these, like, off camera, probably in the same trip that I got the other stuff, and I just planted them in here. How do you harvest? There's too many in here to harvest. Okay. Obviously, if I was going to do anything with them, I would have to, do more. But yeah, that's the mine. It's really not that interesting. They are required to be 3x3 tunnels, which, I don't know. It's nice not being claustrophobic, but also, God, it's tedious. Alright, these were my starter farms. They're not that interesting. There's my Christmas tree from, I don't know, like 9 years ago. We're gonna go in here, and we're gonna go to the other side. Oh yeah, here's the front. It looks like a face. I don't mind that it looks like a face, because, this is my face, so you can tell it's mine. It's cool. So let's go out to this door. I really need to, like, if I'm not going to terraform, I need to put in staircases. This is my very large crop fields. They're not really that large, but you saw how long it took to harvest just that much. It's already regrowing. Let's see. Let's go this way first, and I need to put in more stairs in this thing because it's very easy to trample the crops, and I have. Every time I come over here, I trample crops. There are spots that I just haven't fixed that are supposed to have crops, and they don't. Okay, so down here, we've got the cow pen. I can't truly call it free range because they are still very, in here. Like, they are blocked in, mostly. Although, at one point, an Enderman did put a block where they could, get out. It happens. But, yeah, they are more free range than most people's cows. Let's put it that way. And this is for wheat, which is what I use most of that wheat in the farm for. See, here's one of the cows that got loose. It's fine. You can be free. I am fine with that. There's plenty of cows still in the pen. I don't care. I should probably not sprint through the fields. Not that sprinting breaks it, but if I miss the slabs, that will. Let's see. If we go over here, we've got a tower. The tower's probably going to need to be moved. We need to do like some planning. Here's the tree farm, which is, I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time using it. It's not a good tree farm. Down here, we've got the sheep pen. Similar case to the cows, but it's a little smaller, and there's some pigs in here, but it's not my fault. They walked in on their own. And then just couldn't get back out. No, you don't. Okay, up here. And then pretty much like the last thing that's of any real note is the, I call it the biodome. You're welcome. Past me thought she was very funny. Current me still kind of thinks it's funny. So yeah, this is it's a biodome with trees and bees and like flowers, and the crops are here mostly for aesthetics. It's fine. It looks like the last time I was playing regularly, I was wanting to make candles. So it's like, prioritize that. We've got a bed here if necessary. Yep, and that's pretty much it. There is the rail line. The rail line is it exists. I had bigger plans for the way it looks, and I could still go back and like make it better. Don't mind my viewing cobblestone pillar. Yeah, so right up there, it is a rail line out to the ocean. We're not gonna go the whole way. But I built this in order to get the On a Rail achievement back when they were still achievements. And I was using that bug where you used to be able to stack minecarts and they would just go forever. So this was set up like this. There wasn't even the rails. I didn't have rails. Go away. Put these back in the chest. So yeah, now I use furnace carts because they fixed that bug. And for a while, I was actually using a boat in a minecart. I don't think that ever made it on camera. Boats and minecarts, they would go at full speed if you held the opposite direction that you wanted to go, which I'm not surprised they fixed it, but that was one of those very long-standing bugs. And yeah, so that's basically the tour. I do have like some plans for future stuff. I want to go exploring. I want to use this series to get familiar with a lot of the things that have been added since. Like, I mean, we just got the update that gave, like, little copper golems, and I have a bunch of copper. I can do stuff with it. It's not, I mean, a bunch is relative. You would not be able to really build anything useful out of that, but, you know. If I wanted to make, I don't know, some armor, it's worse than iron, so I don't know why I would. But if I wanted to do that, or decorative lightning rods, the copper golems, stuff like that. And my goal is honestly to keep this series very old school. Minimal edits. I mean, obviously some edits. Shorter in length. I've probably gone longer already than I meant to. But, you know, in the 20 to 30 minute range. Preferably, like, sometimes things go long. That's just how it is. But I don't want every episode to be, like, an hour long. I tried that with my Kirby and the Forgotten Land 2-player by myself series. And, like, the goal was, like, 30-minute episodes. And then the levels got longer, and they started being 45-minute episodes. And then an hour in a few cases. And it's like, that's great. But it's, those are hard to watch if you actually want to watch them. And yeah, so we're here. And I think I'm just going to call it here. It's not been an exciting 50th episode, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what this series is about. And I'm always going to be playing on this world unless, like, I don't know, I lose it in a computer crash and all of my backups are gone or something like that. But yeah, I intend to keep going with this, even if it's just occasionally. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode, which hopefully won't be 2 years from now. See ya.